All right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. So much to dive into, so much to discuss regarding TSM ImperialHal breaking an insane record over in the ALGS, and also Sweet Dreams giving a little bit of an indication that maybe it is true. The guy who's running a lot of these LAN events for ALGS may have listened to some of the feedback from Dark Zero, and the LAN event may be different next go around for Split 2 playoffs. Very interested to see what you guys have to say about all the topics down in the comment section below. Like the video if you guys do enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date all things Apex Legends esports related. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this one. So first thing that I wanted to mention here, yesterday we kind of showed a little bit of the complaints that Dark Zero, the world champions, had with this LAN event. Even their coach PvP basically saying, you know, like, this copper box arena is not it. It's just not set up correctly. The B stream was not fun. We had to walk across the street in order to play, and it just wasn't that good of a situation, and it was very hot in there. There was just like a lot of inconveniences that they were not happy with, and so that's why they were actually, you know, giving a lot of this feedback. Well, one of the guys over at EA who was running this stuff basically just kind of said, like, understood, we, you know, appreciate all the feedback here, and it kind of makes sense. I think it's good feedback overall is what they said, so I thought it was pretty good. Well, we actually had the official Apex esports page say, what an unforgettable weekend. It's been moments like these that make it so epic. Thank you guys for watching the ALGS Split 1 playoff. Stay tuned for Split 2, and Sweet Dreams even giving the little eye emoji here, like, you know, obviously investigating something. So we're just kind of wondering if something is going to be different for Split 2, because we know that all three of these LAN events are supposed to take place in London. However, it's not necessarily to say that the Copper Box Arena is going to be the place for all three LANs, or that maybe something will not change over here in the future. And considering there's been a lot of complaints regarding the arena and regarding some inconveniences and stuff, I would imagine that some of the production level stuff here may change for this upcoming split. Of course, talking about the ALGS, we had to mention this. I thought this was rather remarkable. You know, watching this event, I really thought that maybe ImperialHal was not having his greatest of appearances here. I thought Big E did phenomenal. I thought he did way better than he did the first time around at his first LAN event, and so I thought just Big E just popped off, and I really thought he was going to get the MVP to begin with. But as the days progressed, obviously as we began to get towards the championship Sunday, ImperialHal really did show up. I even think he was like maybe tied for the most kills, or even had the most kills or something along those lines. Regardless, I think he had 59 kills over for TSM, and then I think Big E, it was like at 54 or something. So, you know, Hal really was popping off, and I got to give it to him. He, you know, definitely has claimed his CEO and GOAT status for sure. And I think even like Sweet Dream said the other day, the fact that TSM has won the event and had a lot of fans kind of up on their feet regarding this, I think it's going to pull Apex out of this little bit of a recession as well, especially with all the Season 16 update news as well. But this was rather remarkable. ImperialHal, after TSM's victory at the ALGS 1 split playoffs, coming from Alpha Intel, Hal is now the winningest Apex Legends player by prize money won. So no surprise there. And honestly, I say no surprise, but I was kind of surprised that they weren't already there considering how long that they have been playing this. But I think the reason is because the ALGS years have gone up in prize pool per year. So like year one, obviously I think TSM won, but it wasn't nearly as big as it was year two. And then obviously year three has gotten even bigger. So that's why I think it makes a little bit more sense now. And it's kind of remarkable when you think about it, because ImperialHal and them were right behind the former world champions Dark Zero, considering they got the biggest payout, I think, in ALGS history when they won champs last year. So the fact that they haven't even won champs yet, TSM, and they still have already made the pass just off of the one LAN here, is kind of just going to show you how insane these guys are and how consistent they have always been. But yeah, so right before this, I'm pretty sure Sharky and Zero were in first and second here, with Sweet Dreams maybe in third or somewhere around, and ImperialHal obviously in reps in the third and fourth, fifth position somewhere. And after they won this LAN event, I think it was a $300,000 payout for TSM, so they each got 100K a piece, and that's when reps and ImperialHal were able to make that pass, and now they are in the first and second position. So congratulations to ImperialHal, now the most winningest player in prize pool earnings for Apex Legends. Absolutely crazy to see, and definitely noteworthy. I thought it was pretty crazy too, because Sweet Dreams is over here in the fifth position, and he's never won the world championship. He's never I don't even think NRG has won any of the ALGS splits, but I could be wrong on that. I've kind of just got back into it as the last couple of months have gone by. I thought it was crazy too, because Sweet Dreams is over here in the fifth position, and he's never even won the world championship. So, you know, he's actually above some of these guys that have won. People like Anmu has, you know, won, I think, year two on the online tournaments and stuff. And so for ALGS year two, for that big prize pool payout, Anmu's still only in the ninth position. Sweet Dreams just popping off here with no world championships and still has a lot more money to show for it. So obviously amazing performance by them, and they did get a good boost right there from that last split, getting in second place. So regardless, very big round of applause for ImperialHal breaking an insane record. You love to see it, but we're going to talk more about the state state of TSM and a lot of the conversations regarding the composition that they are running moving forward. Also wanted to mention this. Tech, you guys know, was a coach over on the Sentinels roster. Sentinels decided to get rid of that roster, pick up the SSG roster, left the SSG roster, apparently going to Optic Gaming. Duplex is apparently getting off Optic Gaming. Who knows what's going to be the final say, but that is definitely the rumors that are going around. Well, Tech obviously was the one to make the announcement that Sentinels was letting that roster go, and now that the Apex Legends Split 1 playoffs is over, he's kind of reminding people that, being that he was a coach, saying now is a great time to pick a new coach and new analysts before Split 2 starts. Legend classes are changing, and the game entirely is going to be changing. The entire meta is going to be changing here with these new balance changes here coming up in season 16, and there's so much that you can do that will put you ahead of the curve if you start preparing now, theory crafting now. So basically just saying, look, you know, this is kind of why you need to hire me as a coach, or maybe just a coach in general. Honestly, I think some of these coaches could provide a lot of analysis here, and this is actually a live look, I guess you would say, like an actual current look of what it's going to be like with all of these new legends. So I believe like you got like the assault or the skirmisher legends up here, like these are all like your, you know, your hot and ready to go guys, your people that are up in your face, your very aggressive legends, I guess you would say. You've got your support legends down here, Gibraltar, Lifeline, Loba, Newcastle. You're gonna have I think your control legends, or maybe defensive legends. I can't remember what they're called here. I think they're called control legends. And then you're gonna have you know, Caustic, Watson, Rampart, and Catalyst there. And then you've got your assault legends, your more fiery legends, I guess you would say. I don't really know how to, like, I guess their tacticals do more damage. I guess that's like the best way to put it. Their tacticals are kind of primarily damage related tacticals. You got Fused, Revenant, Bangalore, Mad Maggie, Ash, and then your recon legends, Crypto, Bloodhound, Vantage, and Seer. And I think some of these classes are getting like an entire rework here, so it's going to be insane to see. There's going to be an entire new meta. A lot of people are taking predictions of what they think that the new meta is going to be. I personally think that Pathfinder and Wraith will be back in the meta at some point in all of this, because they're getting a pretty big buff. I think Wraith is actually going to get like double her portal you know, buff here. Like she's going to get double the distance. Pathfinder getting double the distance on his zip line. He also is going to go faster on his zip line. You could see like a little bit of an OG meta come back into play, and I'm not going to be mad at that at all, considering there is no new legend for this season. It's going to be absolutely insane to see. And some of these legends that have been used back in like season 2 of the ALGS, you know, season like 3 or season 2, when Apex really started to take off in the competitive scene, you may see some of these teams that were really good back in the day start to get really good again, because they have prioritized their majority of their time playing competitive Apex with these legends. It's going to be interesting to see and how quick people adapt through all of this. Also wanted to make mention of this here. There was a big conversation, and honestly, the conversation will never end. I know some of you guys get sick of it, but I kind of wanted to keep you updated on where things were regarding this whole, like, you know, oh, mouse and keyboard is not good enough. ImperialHal switched from mouse and keyboard. He went over to controller. They won the event. That's going to result in a nerf. This is what Snipedown had to say. I thought the conversation was interesting, because Snipedown obviously being a controller player, Sweet Dreams being a mouse and keyboard player, it goes to show, here's what they had to say. Snipedown said, if mouse and keyboard players are still complaining after this LAN, then they have no place in ALGS due to controllers. Then that's just a confidence issue at this point. If Kashira was on controllers, what Space Crook said, I think he would have one-clipped Hal when he snuck up on him and brought home the championship. And that's when Sweet said, I agree. Snipedown also said, I also agree with this. That was a great play. They all need to keep holding forward though, and shooting straight down from Horizon Lift on controller is hard. They got beamed because they had stayed behind the rock. That play that Kashira made at LAN was a LAN winning play. If he had capitalized on it, he decides to hip fire 2 times on the Volt for about 60 damage instead of committing. Then swings Verholst and gets slammed, because obviously, you know, Verholst probably the best controller player in the game, and the better mouse and keyboard player or controller makes that fight closer than a 3-0. So not trying to throw shade here at Kashira, but basically saying, like, if you're a more cracked mouse and keyboard player, i.e. Sweet Dreams, I guess you would say, then obviously maybe that fight goes different. Maybe TSM doesn't win there. Maybe Ascend does win there. But he's also saying if that guy was playing on a controller, then that fight also probably would have been closer. It definitely goes to show that this conversation is still being had and taking it very, very seriously. What I wanted to say here, though, was the fact that they are also showing there were some other routes that could have been taken. It's not just the whole crutch, like, oh, if he would have had a controller, he would have won. Sure, that could be possibly true. And even Snipedown agreed with this. You know, Snipedown also being a controller player said it is true. If he would have had a controller, he probably would have fried Hal, and it probably would have been a different situation and a different outcome. But there's also a world where you could say, hey, he could have made a better decision here. He could have made a better decision there. Regardless, though, I think it's going to be kind of a little weird situation when they're saying, look, at the end of the day, if you would have had the aim assist, it kind of all would have worked out in their favor anyways. And that's when we had these clips right here, even Alberlelli basically saying why it's bad news for ALGS players or controller players in general, the fact that TSM ImperialHal won. I know you guys will still say like, oh, you know, at the end of the day, he's played controller in the past, he's got experience on it and all of that stuff. What I'm trying to just kind of make the inference here, I'm not saying that it's wrong, I'm not saying that it's right, I'm not saying that one side is right over the other, but what I am saying is the devs have made it clear, if people are starting to switch to certain inputs on the game because they feel like it is a necessity, then it's going to be a red flag for them, and they're definitely going to take a look at it. They even had the tweet longer a couple months ago that they're looking at making some fine adjustments, and even saying that they're open to some aim assist tuning. And the fact that we have had Hal switch because they said it's that important to have, and they have won, it could be some bad news. I'm not saying, like, at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's bad or it's one way or the other, or that I agree with one side or I don't agree with one side. I see both sides, I understand both points, but at the end of the day, I think the devs are going to be blinded by the fact that they do not want people switching inputs for the sole purpose of trying to get a competitive advantage. And that seems to be what has happened. That seems to be the notion that is going around, and even Alberlelli saying this as to why it's dangerous for controller players moving forward.
Since like the meta changed to, you know, Syrian Horizon, I was mechanically like lacking in my opinion. So I decided to switch to controller. And it's the first LAN I played on controller, and I got MVP, won the LAN. So I feel
true.
I feel like I worked.
I did always say, right? The Hal's weakness wasn't his brain, it was his mechanics on MNK. Him switching to controller was actually nuts.
Later on in the game, though, you didn't need controller at the start.
Yeah.
That's why he won.
Mechanically, Hal is just a fundamentalist.
Yeah, the game's
so when you transition those fundamentals onto controller with the brain that Hal has, bro, you create a monster.
Great mechanics. Like, it was just your positioning that would win you games, but now, like, motherfucker be swinging and immediately one-clipping you.
Yeah.
You need to have the same firepower.
Yeah. Now it's time for Hal to get controller nerfed, and then he moves back to MNK.
I'm all so down for that, actually.
Did you see that they're doing another temperature check?
What?
Like on Twitter, they said like a while ago, they're like, if we see an overwhelming like switch of, you know, it swaying towards controller, they'll do a temperature check with like devs to like see how they feel.
I mean, bro, this dude just swapped inputs and won a LAN.
That's true.
JMW swapped inputs and won a LAN. Like, all the motherfuckers that are crying and saying, fine, just switch then if it's so OP. Like, motherfuckers are switching and are winning.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what those people think after Hal just popped the fuck off in his first LAN on roller. Wonder if I wonder if any of them are like, wait, what if we are wrong?
All the people at home that are saying just
Hal
switch,
shouted me out. Wait, I missed it. Wait, what did he say?
So I'm interested to see down below what you guys think of ImperialHal breaking the record with some insane tournament winnings. And then also, the devs have already made it clear they are going to be making some temperature checks here with the whole controller and mouse and keyboard debate. And there probably will be some changes or nerfs coming very soon. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy. I know we've been talking about the whole mouse and keyboard and controller stuff a lot lately, but there's just new clips coming out, pros talking about it more. And I just kind of want to keep getting opinions and see where the community is at. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe if you guys want to stay up to date all things Apex Legends esports related. Until next time, I'll see you later, Gators.